Hello and welcome to Bitsbox World, builds made easy. I don't know about you, but transporting my painted models safely between locations or to battles has always been a bit of a problem. I've had them in flight cases, even on the foam trays, and because they're sort of compacted in, they sometimes break, and especially if they've just been in there for a long time. These sort of foam inlays, you can put them in to try and keep them safe, and they do a job, but I wanted to come up with a better solution. So I like these really useful boxes. I use them for a lot of things, storing away things. They stack really nicely, and they've got clip-on sides which sort of pulls the lid in, so everything is nicely secured inside. And I'm going with a 9 litre really useful box, because this is going to fit my 500 point high elf army, and it will fit some of my bigger models. So I'm going to go with this rubber sheeting. This is steel rubber sheeting, comes in A4 sizes. You can get it in bigger sizes, but I really like this version because it's got an adhesive back as well, so you can peel that off, and the A4 fits nicely into a 9 litre really useful box. What you'll need to do though, when you're placing your rubber sheeting into your box, you'll notice that there is a gap just on one of the sides. So taking another piece of this rubber sheeting, we can get rid of that gap by just placing it down, putting the A4 piece on top, and then you can see that you get a nice straight line that you can score against with a pencil. This means that we're going to be able to cover the whole bottom of this really useful box with this rubber sheeting with the adhesive back. And the great thing about this sheeting is it's so easy to cut as well, so you can make it fit whatever you're trying to use it for. So I'm going to cut this thinner piece out so it makes the whole and complete coverage of my really useful box. Start off by peeling off the back of the thinner slice of that sheeting, and I don't know about anyone else, but I really like peeling off things like this. It feels great, and there we go. So once you've done that, you can stick it into your really useful box. Make sure that it pushes up against the corners and fits in nicely, and then just slide your hand along it to press it down to make sure it's completely stuck to the bottom. And then, are you ready? Peeling off, aesthetically pleasing. Oh yeah, that is a nice feeling. And once you've peeled the back off the A4 piece, you can also then just stick this in. Make sure that you butt it up against the smaller piece, and then press it down from that side first and slowly stick it in, avoiding any air bubbles that might appear under the rubber sheeting. You don't want any air to be trapped under there, and then just stick that down. You then have a complete bottom section ready for your magnets and models to be stuck onto. So I'm going to be using a couple of different magnets, and I'll tell you the purposes for these, but I've got a 3mm and a 1mm. The 3mm fits onto these square bases really nicely, so that's usually your foot soldiers, but you can just measure it with a ruler. And to secure the magnet on, I'll be using the 3mm for my square bases. You just want to get one loose in your hand so you've got it nice and accessible, and then just drop a drop of super glue into the position that you're going to be gluing this magnet onto. And then let that dry. And with a horse base with a mounted cavalry base, what I've worked out, if you've got a style like this with these lines in the middle, they're a bit more indented, but they're about 1 mil in depth. So if you have a 1 mil magnet, you can just stick those straight on there, but you might need to just carve out with a Stanley knife or something like that, just an area for the magnet to sit nicely. But these stick on, and I'm going to use 2 on more weightier models. Now the box needs to fit the purpose that you're using it for, so I'm just going to measure the side, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to fit a bigger model in here. So you can obviously do the same technique with things like dragons or any bigger models that you've got. I've got a Griffin rider that I'm going to be using within my 500 point high elf army. So I've stuck a couple of magnets onto the bottom of the Griffin's base, but you can see that he's coming up quite tall because he's got this lance on the top, and I need to make sure that he's going to fit in the base. I don't want to take him off his base, because that makes it pointless. He'd just then rattle around in the box. So the box is about 13 centimeters high, and my Griffin rider is about 12 centimeters high. So fits in very nicely. And you can see now within the box, I can even turn it all the way over to the other side, and they're not going to rattle around or fall off or anything like that. They stay nice and secure. This is a really good way to keep your models nice and safe. And I already was using magnets to magnetize my models onto their movement trays for battles. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Please like this video and think about subscribing if you haven't yet subscribed. Thanks for watching Bits Box World, builds made easy.